Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. In case you are not sure who I am, my name is Courtney Hartman. I am one of the group health specialists in the Health Plan Options Department here at URL Insurance Group. So please feel free to reach out to me or anyone else on our group health team for any group health assistance. So quick housekeeping items before we start. There is a Q&A and a chat feature on the right. If you would need to ask anything or if you would like anything answered, just put it in there and we will get to it. There is also a handout section in case you would like anything to take away from this. You can look in the handout section as well. We are very excited to have John Troutman here hosting his part 4 of our Turnkey Solutions for Employer Group series. Today we'll be focused on the Benefits Navigator app. So thank you again for coming. And without further ado, please take it away, John.
Thank you so much, Courtney. It's always great to be supporting in any capacity with URL. It's been a great experience of mine to support them. I know they're doing a great job. Not just in central Pennsylvania where I live, but also around the country. So thank you so much for this time. I'm just going to jump right in here today. And if you're with us for the first time, perhaps whether live or watching this recording, just wanted to give you a little bit of overview, a little snapshot of who I am. My name is John Troutman. I am the Regional Director of Business Development for PES Benefits. We are a employee engagement company that uses technology to improve engagement across the board. One of those ways is through an app. Another way is through virtual health, through benefits technology. And I am not here today to sell you on anything. I'm actually going to give you an overview of various types of apps to help you in the process as you support your clients and as you look to be of value to your groups. You can have a greater understanding of what to look for and in these objectives here today. Overcoming the myths that are out there in benefits app technology, understanding what to avoid with benefits apps, and understanding the benefits of a robust app. And lastly, but not least, to understand how to gain and retain groups with an app. So if you have not been on any of these calls before, I've spent the lion's share of my life in central Pennsylvania. I'm very familiar with small groups, mid-sized groups, large groups. I've been in the benefits universe for over 13 years. And I am personally very passionate about adding value, not just to the groups, but also to the brokers that I work with. So if you have any questions of a deeper level that you might not feel comfortable asking here, but you'd like to ask me afterwards, you'll see my contact information there. That's why it's there at the very end. So again, I want to thank you for joining us, whether you're live or watching this recording later. I'm glad to be talking about benefits technology when we talk specifically about benefits apps. So I guess I just need to paint the picture at the top of the level and say, what am I talking about in the benefits app? Because there are many different technically referred to as benefits app. I'm specifically talking about the place on your phone where you can access your benefits. So that's what I'm speaking about, and that's what this is going to be about today. There are many myths out there, and certainly I could take the entire time just talking about those myths, but I want you to think about that as we begin this section here. What are those myths that you think of when it comes to benefits app technology? Several that I'm going to talk about. The first one here today is why pay for something a carrier may include for free. So the points that I'm going to give you in these myths, these are real world cases and scenarios of advisors that I talk to on a daily basis when I talk to them our own app, or I'm talking to them about their app. Maybe they're talking to me about the pains or the successes that they've experienced through their benefits app. But I hear this regularly. Why should I pay for something that a carrier is going to include for free? Well, let's think about that. Are they going to train you how to use it? You know, no matter what you're going to be using in technology, the technology is only as good as a supportive team that's behind it to help you when you don't understand something, when you need some guidance how to use it, or when you are using it, what to take a next step. If you have questions, but is someone going to train you with that process? Some apps out there do, some providers for those apps do, some do not. Some just give it to you and then you're left with that app. And even though it might be a great resource, you're left trying to figure it out on your own, which makes it already benefits are complex. Now you're providing them with a complex solution. So understanding that technology, is it simple to understand? And is there going to be some type of supportive measure behind it that's going to help explain how to use and get access to those wonderful features that are involved within that app? Another thing is this for you to consider when you're if you're looking at a standalone app, will that app provider allow you to white label it? And what I mean by that is this. It basically means is instead of having, one of those carrier names at the top, it would actually have your agency, or for example, it would say URL at the top there. And that is very beneficial in case you don't have a background in marketing or you're wondering what I'm talking about. That way, it just creates that wonderful stickiness that you're actually looking for with that group and with those individual employees, and that confidence in using that app as well. I get a lot of feedback talking about carrier apps, talking even about some agency apps that are out there that they're just a little clunky, or they just don't really, and it just doesn't work well. That can also translate over to your agency as well. So making sure that you have a solid solution, and then you can put your name on that solid solution. I don't know anybody that wants to put their name on something that's poor, right? So being able to associate that with a quality product can go a long way with your brand recognition in keeping those groups, not just selling a group. Another thing to think about is this: are they going to work with you in the group to improve the engagement overall? Many of these times when you get an app, they just direct you to a website. You need to download the app. You need to get the app on your phone, but then they're not going to work with the group. They're not going to work with the HR team. They're definitely not going to work with an individual to improve engagement across the board. Looking for a provider who's going to give you a solid solution, but it's also going to help you improve engagement is very powerful. That'll help you at the end of the year. Talking about that, and those individuals, those providers should be able to share that information back with you, and that can go a long way in retaining that group as well. So not just by access, but also for that point of retention can go a long way with the group and also the individuals there. Another myth involved here is no one will ever use it. And again, I hear this regularly, probably not as often as some of the other myths that are out there, but I have heard this one specifically in the last month, probably twice. And again, I don't know how my screen has a smaller image, but hopefully your image is larger on your end. Hopefully you can see the average weekly time that the average person uses on an app. We're spending, as Americans in particular, again, this is a specific North American data set. As North Americans, we're spending a lot of time on our phones. I may be 53 years old, but I am using my phone. I use my phone sometimes more than my laptop on some days when I'm on the road. And I'm engaging it across most of those points that are on here. So again, people are using smartphones more than ever. And again, with the apps that are available, they are using it. Now, I want to explain this as well. I'm not giving a carte blanche statement saying every single group will. For those, and again, we're talking with some individuals here that might be covering Lancaster County or other parts of the country where we have, and I'll give an example, Amish, for example. We have, where I work at PES Benefits, we do have some groups that are Amish, and they wanted us to reach out to them, even though some of them do have smartphones. They wanted us to find other ways outside that area, or outside that solution. So I just want to be clear that I want to speak to the entire group. When we think of no one will use it across the board, there are ways to do that. And if you have the right provider, they will help you solve the challenges if you do have a group like the Amish or like some other group who may not have smartphones, to find solutions to have those benefits get to them. So again, People are using phones more than ever, and I don't think you have to worry about them not necessarily using it because it's just another app, right? So apps are still just for younger people. You can see the data set there. I think it's rather interesting the amount of time that people are there by the age groups. So even folks who are 65 or older, probably most of you are not providing benefits to people 65 or older, but still that's very powerful when you think of over 51 hours a month by the 65 and older crowd. And if you go down to the 35 to 45 age group, you're looking at almost 94 hours a month. So that's a lot of time being spent. And it's while younger age groups are spending more time, it's not just the younger generation. So again, these are all things that I have heard as a technology provider for solutions and benefits. So you can feel confident as you talk to your group in case they bring these things to you as well. This is one of my personal favorites. We can just build one ourselves and it'll be good, cheap, and fast. So in my past and in various other roles, I've been a part of organizations that have wanted to build their own app. And maybe you're on this call today or you're watching it, the recording, and you're thinking about providing your own app. Good, cheap, and fast. Think about those three things. Because if you can only pick two, good and cheap won't be fast. And fast and good won't be cheap. And cheap and fast won't be good. So it's hard. It's very hard to get all three of those together, especially when it comes to technology. I've been a part of an organization in my past where they wanted to build an app and they wanted to work with a group. And I'm not going to mention any specific names in this conversation or explanation of the story, but they thought they could build it very inexpensively. And over time, they ended up spending 3 times as much as they wanted to because they had to test it. It wasn't as good as what they wanted it to be. So they went the cheap route and realized they needed to pay more. So it really wasn't cheap and it really wasn't good and it wasn't fast. It took 3 times as long. It cost them twice as much. And when they were done, I think even to this day, it never even got released to their employee populations that they covered within that agency. So I'm not trying to say to anyone that you shouldn't create your own app. What I'm saying is it's going to be expensive. It's going to take a long time. It could be a good product when you're done, but it's not going to be cheap and it's not going to be fast. Those are the points I want to communicate. There's a lot. I shouldn't say there's necessarily a lot. There's a number of good solutions out there, not just the ones that I represent here today. So make sure you're looking for those ones that are solid solutions. They're available much more inexpensively than if you were to do it on your own. Here's another favorite. Hopefully you've never seen this snail or this slug on your phone, but people don't use apps today that are slow. Now, I want you to think about this. We're not in an industry, and again, I'm speaking to benefit advisors and people within our industry. Think about a person who is having a mental health challenge or a medical emergency. Now, they shouldn't be using their phone anyway, or their app for the medical emergency, but let's say they're having a mental health challenge. Let's say they're contemplating suicide in that moment and they want to reach out to their EAP provider on their phone. And they're stuck and it's just spinning and spinning, uploading and taking time. There is data out there that if people have to wait a certain amount of time, they're not even going to follow through with that call or that application. We are in the industry where access to solid technology is so important because you could actually be helping save someone's life. So I encourage people, make sure that app that you're going to be using for benefits technology, that's going to be fast and efficient, that when you want to access it, you get a timely response. Speed does matter. So a slow startup is something you want to look out for, and you want to avoid that as best as you can when you're looking at apps. Another thing to avoid is complex, cumbersome tiles. Have you ever used that app or gone online to look at something and there was just so much information you just got too confused? That can happen with an app where there's so many tiles and they may have great functions, but if there's so many tiles you don't know where to find things, it can very quickly turn into Dante's Inferno, where you have different layers of hell just trying to navigate it and you don't even know where to go. Throw in something, which I'm going to be speaking to this later. Throw in the challenge then of not being able to access a live person, how to navigate the app, and now you've just compounded the problem. So being able to find an app that is simple tiles, that it's very clear, it's very clean, and it's very easy to find what you're looking for with your benefits is a great success when you're wanting to provide that type of solution for your clients. Again, another favorite of mine, would you like sprinkles on top of that cookie cutter solution? So the lack of customization. I've talked to, as I've spoken with brokers around the country and with their employer groups, they want to customize whatever they can on an app. And there are many app providers out there that can host benefits that won't allow you to customize anything. And whether that's adding some documents for HR or doing some other things that the employers would like to add on there, that is a real hindrance to getting the most out of an app. So the benefit is when you find a group that provides a solid app for you, you can customize all the tiles and you can add things on there to keep everything in one place. I think we could understand that if we can simplify the process and simplify the procedure of benefits, it makes it easier, not just for the employer, not just for the HR person, but for the end user. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. And that's what you want to be looking for in an app is customization with all the features and functionalities. How many of you have looked like this person here in the slide that's listed for you? So not being able to engage a live person, you're increasing frustration. How do I navigate that? And I talked about that earlier. There's a great benefit in being able to talk to a live person. That could be either a chat feature. Some of the apps also have a button, press here, and it'll actually engage in a phone call. So you can talk to a person. They can help navigate you back and walk you through the process while you have the app out. That's a very powerful feature. I know AI is a powerful thing, and AI and chat boxes is a nice feature as well, but there's something about calming people down when they're frustrated and being able to engage a live person. So look for those apps where that's a feature, and that's an added bonus for you and the end user. What are the benefits of a robust benefits app? So again, enhanced patient engagement. Again, this allows the patients to access all sorts of information. They can keep their cards all in one place, their medical records, they can have better access to them, whether it's their treatment plans, and also just really numerous educational resources can all be there. That's a powerful thing. Keeping everything succinct in one place. I'm very proud of our app, and I'm just going to take a very brief second to brag about it because I used it last week myself. I went in to go to the eye doctor here in central Pennsylvania, and for whatever reason, I thought I had my vision card in my money clip. I did not. And it was wonderful just to pull up my phone, go into the app, and hand it to the person behind the desk, and they could make the copy that way. So it's a wonderful backup. If you're old school like me and you still use your cards, those cards are automated and inside that app as well. And all keeps all of your data in one place. So it's enhanced patient engagement. Another key benefit is lightening your medical bill burdens. And again, that could be as simple as you have a sinus infection, you're looking for some amoxicillin, you can actually go into the app and just press in your geolocation, you put in your zip code, and that'll take you to the closest CVS, whatever, where you can get your prescription filled out, wherever that would be, or whoever you go to get those prescriptions. It could be as basic as that or other ways. There are also features in some app providers that provide support. And again, I know we're talking some telehealth benefits as well, but these are all integrated through the technology of an app. There are expenses that can go back and they can challenge medical cost bills, hospital bills, and they can go back and get that live support, and people can actually go in through their phone, engage that person within the app, and do that as well. So being able to lighten the bills can really release that burden, knowing that that live support is there and that you have people on your side, which, again, we're going to talk about as we continue to roll along here. Better access to better physical and mental health care. So there are many apps out there now that have excellent support when it comes to better health, better physical and mental health care, so you can get that better access. We're going to talk about time in a couple of minutes here, but being able to engage that quality audience, and these individuals have the certification and licenses required for them to be at ease, whether it's a master's degree or a psychologist has a doctorate, whatever that might be. When it comes to mental health, or even the doctors, you're getting better access to better care. And also, as our next point points out very clearly, many times it can be immediate access to care. How many of you on this call here today have tried to schedule an appointment with your primary care physician recently? How long have you had to wait? Think about that. How long have your groups had to wait, or that feedback that you receive? What does that time frame look like? Again, I'm a transparent person, so I'll talk about my own experience. When I came back and I moved back from Florida and I moved back to Mechanicsburg, I reached out to my normal network of where my primary physician was. I couldn't go see that individual anymore. He wasn't even taking anyone. So I had to go with someone else within the practice. I had to wait 3 months. Now, with virtual primary care, that can be, again, that's all on your phone. It can take some time, days, depending on your network, depending on who you work with. But when it comes to mental health, again, if I would go to a brick and mortar location, it would take several days to several weeks. If it was through a carrier, it might be several months. But there are many providers out there. We are just one of several that actually it's the average time to talk to a live person who's certified with mental health with a master's degree is 45 seconds. So it is so much, not just better, but faster in getting the care you need. So that's the benefit of having that robust app feature on your phone, better access, but also faster service as well. And again, improves overall healthy behaviors. So when we think about that, and again, we never thought about this 15, 20 years ago, when you think about the wellness wheel, and I'm just going to pull out these areas because so many times we talk about, those of us in the benefit space, we talk about wellness. But too many times when we talk about wellness, we think about it just merely being nutrition or working out. Now, those are two great areas. Those are actually two areas that I'm passionate about. But let's think about the other areas of wellness. What about your emotional wellness? And if you're following along today, I encourage you to write these down for your own benefit. What about your emotional wellness? What about your wellness when it comes to environmentally? The people around you, your environment, the areas where you live, your environmental well-being. What about your financial well-being? Intellectually, things that can just stimulate your mind and your brain. What about your wellness when it comes to occupationally? Not just the stressors on your jobs, but how to be a better person within your career, how you can make improvements. Again, physically, we talk about these things in wellness with working out, various types of workout plans. You can talk to those type of instructors, those types of specialists. Socially, those people that are dear to you, those people you interact with on a daily basis, and also spiritually. So let's think about those when we talk about wellness. Those areas can be improved with a robust app that you can access these people in a quick manner, a timely manner, and it's over your phone. And it can be instantaneous. It's of great value when you have those included within that app. And there are some app providers that have those included when you get the app to get their telehealth solution or their virtual primary care physician network, whatever that might be. But asking those types of questions, what is included? What am I getting with this? Because these are out there and they are available if you look for them. Live advocacy. Again, I've spoken about this a number of times. But again, for those of you who are not familiar with technology, technology is only as good as the people who will be supporting it when it doesn't work, or you've got a question. So looking for those app providers who are going to support you in a pinch, in a challenging time, can go a long way. And be a big part of your retention for keeping those groups down the road. And again, if I was to encourage 3 words to think about when you're looking at technology solutions for your groups, think about the power of these 3 words: simple, flexible, and personable. How many times when it comes to benefits technology do we think about them being, because I hear these 3 words all the time, right? I do. Those 3 words are complex, rigid, and not personable, right? So there are tremendous options out there for you today that can be simple, flexible, and personable, and that can go a long way with your success. And you can even leverage those to gain new clients, which I'll talk about before we close today. But those solutions are out there, and being aware of what maybe a carrier solution is or what a carrier solution is not can go a long way in providing better access to better care for your groups. And again, I've spoken about this. I'm going to take more time right before the end, but increasing your agency brand awareness and stickiness. As an advisor, you can be perceived as advising them with the best solutions, and let them make the decision. You don't have to make them buy it necessarily if they don't want it, obviously, but you can at least be known as being an advisor who advises them towards best solutions that are out there within our industry. And again, I do not have the availability to see this as clearly as I would like on my screen, so I'm not going to drill down onto this list. But again, the data is out there if you can take the time to look at that. And again, if anyone wants to see more granular detail of this on a one-on-one with a call with me, you get my information at the end. But the data is there. If you find a provider that's going to work with you and that group to engage that employee audience and get them to use the app, to get them to get not just to download the app, but to use it for various ways of their points of needs, there is a very powerful ROI for that group. And for those of you on this call that are involved with self-funding, I honestly would not understand why you wouldn't want to use a robust app that has a robust virtual health plan or a virtual healthcare access. So it is a powerful ROI. But again, make sure you're asking those questions of that app provider. Will you help me drive utilization? Will you help me get better engagement? And ask how they're going to do that. And that is a great opportunity to get that understanding and provide the best technology for your groups and also provide the best ROI for that employer as well. So how can a robust benefits app help you gain and retain your book? In a very similar way, like letting someone take the keys to a car and go for a test drive, allowing them to see it, allowing them to see that firsthand. If you have that on your own phone, allow them to see it. It can oftentimes be the differentiator for you. And with an employer looking at options that are out there, if they're choosing between the various brokers, that can be a powerful resource and a powerful tool to win a group. So it can also help you improve that bond as an advisor to that employer. I've spoken about that before. So if you can put yourself in the employer's shoes and they can perceive you as the solutionist, not just the salesperson, now you're adding value. And I've seen it around the country that those advisors that are perceived by the employer as adding much more value, those are the ones that keep those groups the longest because now they can't afford to get rid of the advisor. Now they don't want to risk losing you because you are adding value to them. So this is one tool of having a robust tool that's going to engage your employees. They're going to see that not just for the employee, but also the employee's household. And that's an emotional thing for people, knowing that their family will be covered with that type of support and that their family members, because younger individuals are using these apps today more than ever, they can access it as well. So it's going to improve that bond. And think about it. You're also going to be a part of simplifying the process. Benefits the world is very confusing for people and they don't understand it. And people take, on average, only 15 minutes, I believe that the data is, to even review what their benefits are before they make their selections. So we're talking about individuals who, as a whole, really don't understand our universe, and you are the expert. And so often it can be easy for us to forget because we're the ones in the quote unquote weeds all the time, right? We're the ones looking at all the information with benefits. the people and the end users are not. So you have the opportunity of simplifying not just the process, but also the benefits as well. And that's going to improve utilization. You're going to improve the engagement. And there are so many data points out there talking about what happens when you get better engagement within your benefits world. I'm sure those on this call here today are aware of those with productivity, efficiency, and overall well-being. So simplifying that process to improving engagement can go a long way for you. Again, that's retention for your group. It's also going to improve your personal professional brand. Again, now you're going to be able to allow them to perceive you as being a solutionist. Many times advisors are only looking for that end sale, and they're really not looking for that solution. So again, just being perceived as a solutionist can go a long way. That option of having the white labeling on there, again, this is a marketing thing. So just being able to see that on their phone will keep you top of mind. Why do I say that? Yes, it's going to have the stickiness for you. Yes, as the employees use it, they're going to see your name on there. Now, the employees aren't going to be probably buying anything new. The employer will, but guess what? The employees talk to other people. Everyone who uses that app talks to other people. So when they see your name on there now, as they're having a tremendous experience with that app, now you're leveraging the last bullet here today, word of mouth. Word of mouth today is more powerful in marketing than any other method. Why? Think about social media. Think about when one person does something and it goes viral, right? The same thing can happen when you give your employer group a great experience. Now it could, quote unquote, be viral from the standpoint of they want to tell other people about that experience. Oh, and by the way, it has your agency. It has that brand logo at the top and can create a better experience, both for gaining and retaining that group. So I know I flew through a lot of material here today. Perhaps you have questions. So if you have any questions at all, now is the time to do that. Or you can also feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll be glad to answer those questions as well. Any questions here today?
I'm not seeing any in the chat, so it looks like you must have covered everything. But if anyone does have any questions after this, please reach out to us and we can definitely get those answered for you. And I want to thank you all for joining us again. And thank you, John, again, for joining us as well and filling us with more knowledge about the app and everything that you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Courtney. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.